DJ here with ACHV PEAK, and today we're going to be reviewing the ER Kang Cable Towers by Mikolo Fitness. You can buy the cable towers as a single unit or as a double unit like I have. In this video today, we're going to go over some general specs, my likes, my dislikes, assembly, and then some changes I wish or hope that they will make in the future. If you want to purchase these cable towers, you can find them on Amazon or on the Mikolo Fitness website. I will provide a link to those in the description below. First thing I want to get into in the video is going to be the overall dimensions and specifications of the tower, because that's going to help you determine really quick if these towers are for you. So overall, the cable towers are just under 83 inches tall, just under 26 inches wide, and right at 25 inches deep. So from the wall, when you have them mounted up against the wall, to right here is going to run you about that 25 inches. I mean, we have them in our garage. I have them a little bit separated. They don't take up any room at all. So if you're looking for a compact, budget-friendly cable tower, cable pulley system, this is going to be a great option for you. The next thing I want to get into is going to be the assembly. So each cable tower took me roughly 35 to 40 minutes. That's both of them. It took me about an hour and 20 to assemble both of them. And that is, at first, being like a normal guy, the way we do things is we try to assemble something, can't figure it out, and then we look at directions. We're not smart enough to actually just look at the directions or instructions first and follow along. No, we got to try it on our own. So that's what I did. I messed around with it for about 20 minutes. I got pretty close. Even with that messing around, seeing if I could just put them together on my own, still took me about an hour and 20 minutes to put them together. It took me an additional, say 15 minutes, 20 minutes to actually put them in to a stud, getting a stud finder, lining them up, mounting them, all that good stuff. Another 15, 20 minutes. So under 2 hours for sure, assembling them and attaching them to the wall if you have the right tools. Make sure you have the right tools to put them together. Next thing we're going to go into, the good stuff, is going to be the operation, which is probably also going to lead into some of my likes and dislikes for this. So the operation you have right here, so you have double pulleys. Each pulley is going to be a 2-to-1. So if you have 20 pounds on there and you're just using a single pulley, that's going to feel more like half of that, which is going to be 10 pounds. And then if you're using both of them locked together, that's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you have 20 pounds on there, it's going to feel like you're actually pulling 20 pounds. And so just note that when you're using a single, it's 2-to-1. So it's half of what you have on. If you're using both at the same time, it's going to be a 1-to-1. So it's going to be that full load. One of the big things I like about this with the operation is that when you kind of slide it, it's actually on a roller. So it has 2 rollers on the front and 2 rollers on the back. And the reason I like that is a lot of times what they'll have is just like that squared sleeve that wraps around this, and it's like a nylon or plastic slide, and it just doesn't glide smoothly. It kind of hangs up. It feels cheap. The back, it does have glide, so kind of like a nylon or that plastic like I was talking about, but it's on these double poles right here. They're actually circular poles, not square, and so I feel like it works a lot smoother. I've tried other brands, I'm not going to name them, where they have a square pole like this one also in the back, and then it has that plastic sleeve that goes inside of the metal, and it kind of goes up and down, and I feel like it just creates a lot of unnecessary friction. And so this is a good compromise. The weight pegs, how I have them set up, are 2-inch, but they actually have an Allen key on the bottom where you can unscrew this or tighten it, untighten it, whichever you want to call it, and they pull off, so you can do a 1-inch standard plate or a 2-inch Olympic plate. I currently have the 2-inch Olympic plate. Either one is fine. So if you find some cheap plates off of Marketplace or wherever, you can use whatever style you want. So you can go with all 1-inch. You can always find those for pennies on the dollar on Marketplace or even on Amazon, so you're not stuck going with more expensive 2-inch sleeve or Olympic style barbell plates just to load on your cable tower when you might use bumpers on your squat rack like we do. One of the last things I'll say about the operation is going to be the optional 1-to-1. So where you put the actual cables together, so you pull both cables at the same time. Sometimes what they'll do when you look at more budget-friendly options is they want you to connect the carabiners together and then just hook your attachment to that single one. What I like about the ER Kang version is that they actually give you a little piece. And so they give you this right here. So then you can attach this to your carabiners on the pulleys right there like that. And now you have a single mounting point for your attachments. And now when you pull, it is pulling both of your cables out perfectly straight versus kind of having them come together and risk pulling off the pulleys or just kind of grinding at an unnecessary angle. When you have them in this 1-to-1 ratio, you can no longer pull to the inside because this outside pulley, or I guess pull to the sides, because the outside pulley can only go perfectly straight out from the cable tower. And so what that means is that if I was here and I want to do like 1-to-1 with like double cables for flies, it's going to pull that one right there. And so now it's actually hitting or contacting the metal. So when you're doing a 1-to-1 ratio using both pulleys, you need to pull perfectly straight out or pretty close. Now I want to go into my actual likes and dislikes for the cable towers. We'll start with the likes first. One thing I really like is that for a budget-friendly option, this thing is super smooth with the cable pulleys. So far, we've had them a little over a month now, and we haven't had a single hiccup. We haven't like maintained them, if you will, putting any oil or like frictionless spray or anything on the glides. We just come out here, use them. I use them almost every single day during my workouts. I'll find some accessory workout. Honestly, my poor dumbbells over here are feeling neglected. I've just been cheating on them with my cable towers because it's so convenient just to come hook up whatever I want to do. If I want to do curls, push downs, rows, whatever it might be, just come hook up to my cable towers, toss some weight on, and I'm going. It's nice and set up. I'm not having to go drag dumbbells around or move them. If I want to switch, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll superset with the tricep rope. I'll do curls, like a hammer curl, lift it straight up, and I'll do tricep push downs, and I'll just superset that at the end of my workout as like a burnout. But overall, the operation of the trolleys, of the cables, of the glides right here has just been phenomenal for such a budget-friendly cable tower option. When you're talking that this set, a single cable tower, is under the $300 mark and it's working this well, I don't really see a reason to go with a more expensive option unless it was going to be a selectorized stack. And the selectorized stack version is going to run you close to 4 times the amount of money as a plate-loaded version. And to me, I just can't justify buying that or spending that amount of money just because I want to be a little bit lazy and not have to add weight onto my cable tower. And so for me, a budget-friendly, plate-loaded option that is super smooth operation just makes sense to me. A few other things I really like about this is that it has the foot spots for the seated rows. It comes with the double cable pulley, so you can do that 2-to-1 or 1-to-1 option. I also like that when you get the double cable tower setup that they offer, it comes with a pull-up bar. Side note, this is not the correct pull-up bar. It's actually like a 4-foot wide pull-up bar. I found this 6-footer online someone had, so I got this because like, I kind of want to do my flies a little bit wider. So I'm just kind of, as you can see, I have some clamps right here until I get it fully mounted. But I opted for a pull-up bar. But it is nice that it comes with a 4-foot pull-up bar when you get the doubles. The biggest thing about that is obviously you can do pull-ups, but it helps stabilize your cable towers, because what's happening is if you're doing the cable flies or anything pulling to the inside, now your cable or your pull-up bar is holding them together. So it's keeping that distance and it's stabilizing them, and you're not having to rely so much on your bolts going into the studs and creating that hard pull. Now the cable towers are kind of stabilizing themselves and preventing that inward pull whenever you're going heavy, pulling across the towers. Okay, now it's time for what you've been waiting for. I feel like everybody watches reviews for the dislikes. It's like, ha, I knew there was something wrong with it. And yeah, maybe there's 1 or 2 things, but does it outweigh budget-friendly, great operating cable towers? I don't know. Let's find out. So a few things that I will note is that it is plate loaded. You're gonna have to buy some extra plates. So while it might be under the $300 mark, if you already have existing weights you can throw on it, that's fantastic. If not, we kind of went and found some other plates that we just leave over here. So that is going to be an additional cost that you're going to incur. So just be prepared for that. Another thing I dislike, as you might have already seen or alluded to, is that I wish it came with a 6-foot pull-up bar. The reason for this is what you'll find is a lot of functional trainers, because now that you have the double cable towers, you pretty much essentially have a legitimate functional trainer. But almost all the functional trainers I find are at that roughly like 48 to 50 inch width. And what happens is when you're doing flies or something out here and you're trying to come across the body, the cable is more like, I keep forgetting I don't have that one up. It's more like it's pulling from like inside behind you and then you're coming across. So I feel like it's kind of this weird resistance. And what I wanted here is that when I'm doing my cable crossovers, I want it to feel like it's always pulling from the outside in, not kind of back behind me and then straight out and then in. I don't know. I've tried them. I guess it's maybe my own personal preference, but that's one thing I wish that they did is that they provided an optional 6-foot pull-up bar so you can make the decision, do I want a 4-foot one or a 6-foot one, get a little bit wider, give you that little bit extra room for when you're doing cross-body movements like that, especially when you have both towers. The last thing I'll say that I dislike about this is that sometimes the budget-friendly comes at an inconvenience. That inconvenience is going to be when Jen and I are working out together. What we find is that like I might be doing my cable crossovers and she's fine with like working in doing something. And like it's always easy to like quickly hook a different attachment on. Like that takes seconds, but then you have to unload the weight, restack the weight. And so that kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. The selectorized stack version is a fantastic convenience option, but it comes at a cost. And so that's the thing, same thing that we think about is that it's an inconvenience for us to plate load it, especially when we're trying to work in and get like a quicker workout going at the end, we're trying to burn out. And then all of a sudden you're trying to like pull weights, put weights on, change out the piece of equipment you're using or the attachment you're using and all that. And sometimes you get a little fumbled around. It's a little bit of a cluster. And so it's just something to know that if you have multiple people working out, it's a little bit of an inconvenience when you're having to strip on and off weight. But again, like I said, it comes at that quarter of the price of a selectorized unit. So the last thing I want to go into is just kind of my overall thoughts about the cable towers. One thing I want to note again is that it's a smooth operation from the cable pulleys to the actual trolley since it's on rollers. Obviously with a budget-friendly option, you're gonna have some things you don't like. You're gonna have a little bit of that cheaper feeling you might get because it is on the plastic or nylon glides. It still moves smooth, it glides smooth, but it's not that roller bearing type of feel where it's almost like you don't feel anything. It's not exactly like that, but it is great. I mean, it's as close as you can get to being perfect at a budget friendly. I honestly couldn't ask for more about that. The cable pulleys work well. They might be plastic, but they work fine for us. I don't notice any random pulls or snagging anything like that. I do like that they provided, just included with the kit, the little piece to attach both your pulleys on the front and not have to connect your carabiners. I like that they included the 2-inch sleeves with it and not make an additional purchase. They kind of just said, hey, here's everything you can have with it. It's just one price. Here you go. We're not going to try to nickel and dime you with all these little add-on accessories. It comes with a wide attachment, the row bar. It comes with tricep rope. It comes with 2 sets of handles. I got them right here. Comes with a smaller straight bar. You can do pull-ups. You can do bicep curls or tricep push-downs with that. It comes with 2 handles. They have a plastic handle on them, but they do have like 4 or 5 D-rings right there, so you can attach it where you want. I mean, it comes with everything you need to get started except for the weight. And so once you get your towers, all you need to do is add weight, assemble them, attach them to the wall, and you're good to go. Overall, they're a fantastic setup. They are a mainstay in our gym. Like I said, the only thing I use more inside of our garage gym is going to be my squat rack. It goes squat rack, cable towers, and then my dumbbells and all that good stuff, stair stepper, whatever it is. But number one, squat rack. Number two, cable towers. At this point, I can't imagine not having cable towers in my garage gym anymore. They're just here to stay. I use them in every workout. If you're looking to upgrade your garage gym, home gym, whatever it is, a room in your house with a compact, budget-friendly option, the ER Kang Cable Towers by Mikolo Fitness is a great option. Even if you're just getting a single, it doesn't matter, single, double, whatever it is, they're a great option for you. They're budget-friendly. Get your tower, add some weight, and get on with your workout. Like I said before, if you want to get these, you can find them on Amazon or on the Mikolo website. And hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think about them if you get them. So far, I've been loving them. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Be sure, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. See you again.